Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lala and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a simple vanilla cake. This is for my beginners, okay? So here I have my pan and I'm going to line it with parchment, but first I want to mark out that circle. This is an 8-inch pan, so I want to mark out an 8-inch circle, and then I'm going to cut that out and yeah, that's what you're going to place in the bottom of the pan, okay? This prevents your cake from sticking to the bottom of the pan, okay? So I basically folded the paper over and I'm just going to cut that circle out. Alright, so now that's done, we can place it in our pan. This is perfect for when you're using, you're making like angel food cakes or stuff like that. So because you don't grease your pan, you just put it right in there. But I'm going to grease my pan, both the bottom and the sides. And then I place my parchment in there, okay? So make sure to grease those sides very well because you don't want your cake to stick whatsoever. Okay, and when you're satisfied with that, just add your parchment paper. And there you go. You can set that aside and move on to the ingredients. Alright, I normally make sure I have my ingredients in front of me, especially if I'm using a recipe for the first time. I make sure everything is right in front of me, and I make sure I read the instructions on how to bake this cake before I start. It gives me a knowledge of what I need to do before I start baking, okay? Usually I put it on the wall, but right now it's right there so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So here I have my bowl. Before I get into that, you have to make sure your eggs, whatever ingredients you're using, is at room temperature. Your eggs, your butter, your milk, if that's in your recipe, make sure that is at room temperature, okay? If it's cold, your cake won't come out properly. It will probably sink and get all dense and all of that. You don't want that, okay? So make sure eggs, milk, butter is at room temperature. If you're gonna be melting your butter, it doesn't matter to have it in the fridge because it's gonna be melted anyways, right? But if it's a butter that you're gonna have to whip up, then it should be at room temperature. This is another step to ensure that you're not getting lumps in your cake, is to sift your cakes using a sifter, or one of those electric ones. I mean, this way is even better. So make sure to sift your flour to prevent any lumps, especially if you're like making a chocolate cake or something and you're using cocoa powder. You want to sift that as well. So I basically put all my dry ingredients, my salt, my sugar, and everything, and sift it out. Set that aside. Now we're going to do the wet. So my milk here is at room temperature. I added my vanilla extract to that, and I'm going to be adding my melted butter. If you're using oil, melted butter, shortening, whatever, add that to this as well. And then my eggs. Then I'm just going to give that a good whisk to combine. And you have to break up those yolks, okay? now that's done, we're gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Okay, I started by making a well in the center of my flour, and then I'm just gonna add my milk mixture to that, and then I'm gonna whisk it just until it combines. You don't want to overdo this, okay? I'm gonna use my hand mixer here. You can do this by hand as well with the very same whisk you used to beat up those eggs, but I'm just gonna make it quicker for myself and make it easier on my hand by using my hand mixer. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this until all the dry flour is no longer visible, and yeah, and then after that we're good to go. So the total mix time for this was about 1 minute for me, so try not to go over that, okay? Make sure to scrape down to make sure everything was incorporating properly, and then you'll know if you should continue or not. But as long as there's no flour visible, then you should be good to go. So there was a little bit of flour visible for me, so I mixed it for like a couple of seconds more, and now we're ready to place this batter in our pan. So before you do all of this, the mixing and everything, make sure your oven is preheating. So as soon as you're done with this, you can pop it in the oven. So my oven has been preheating on 350, and I did my mixing, and now we're gonna add it to the pan. Adding it to a prepared pan, and then we're gonna knock the pan on the countertop so that it releases the air bubbles. Okay. Give it a good knock down. Just a few knocks is good, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. This is to release air bubbles, okay? There you go. My oven has been preheating and it's on 350. Then we're gonna pop the cake in, okay? This video is a little bit slower than my other videos because I do want someone to learn from this. I don't want to fast forward it and you don't catch what I'm trying to say in this. So yeah, so I popped my cake in and I put it for 55 minutes, and yeah, there you go. My cake was done. To make sure that your cake is done, make sure you stick it in the middle. If it's still soft and there's if there's any crumb that comes on the knife, that means it's not done, especially if it's wet crumbs. It's not done, so pop it in back for maybe like another 5-10 minutes, and then after that we want to try it again, okay? So I put it in for 5 minutes. Now I'm going to stick it in the middle again, and my knife is clean, so that means it's done. Alright, so there you go, you guys. Nice, simple, and easy vanilla cake for beginners from scratch. And now it's cooled. I'm going to remove it from the pan and cut it and show you guys how it looks inside. Remember to remove your parchment paper. This cake is extremely good with coffee. It's very good, okay? There you go, look at that. Nice and fluffy and light. It's in between light and heavy, so you know, That's why I said it's very good to have with coffee. It's very fluffy and light. I'm gonna show you close up. There you go. Look at that. See? Nice and spongy. This is what you want out of a cake. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And please remember to click that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.